Hello and welcome to the United Community Channel. This is your match preview for Manchester United versus Southampton. And Manchester United go into this game on the back of a couple of really good performances. But now it's time to turn them performances into points on the board in the Premier League. We've got some talking points to get into, guys. We're going to talk about our predicted 11 and our score predictions as well. Let's get straight into it. As always, guys, thanks for tuning in. Please do smash the like button if you haven't done so already, and do hit that subscribe button as well. As you can see on the top left, we're closing in on 13,000 subscribers, so really hoping to get there by maybe the end of the month, so I do appreciate it. But guys, we're going to jump straight into it, and we're going to talk, of course, about Manchester United. And as we said in the intro, it's back to the Premier League now, and it's back to hopefully putting some points on the board over the next few weeks. And obviously with the league table, United are still currently in the bottom half, 13th in the league table on 23 points. And when you can see us and the bottom team in the same shot, you know the league is not going too good for you. So look, you know, it's important that, like we said, on the back of the really positive performances against Liverpool at Anfield and against Arsenal at the Emirates in the FA Cup, we go to Southampton, or Southampton come to us now, and we've got some favourable fixtures over the next few weeks. As we can see here, our league fixtures coming up between now and the Spurs game on the 16th of February. We've got Southampton, Brighton, Fulham and Crystal Palace. And they give us the opportunity to pick up some well-needed points on the league table. It has to be said. And look, again, with all due respect to them clubs, you would hope that, you know, United can go out and get some, you know, positive results. Now, where do them positive results come from? Well, they come from consistency, to be quite honest with you. And Ruben Amorim spoke an awful lot, especially after the Liverpool game as well. He said he was quite angry with the fact that, you know, United, where was the performance at Anfield? Where was that in the 4 games prior that United lost? And he was absolutely dead right. He really, really was. Consistency is going to be key here. And we mentioned before about United picking up points in the Premier League. And you got a top 6, for example, you know, the big 6 teams. And you would say United are included in that, for example. Obviously, the league table doesn't back that up. But you can gain more points off of the bottom teams, you know, outside of the top 6, outside of the top 8, than you can against the teams that are in there. Obviously, because mathematically there's more clubs there and there's more points to pick up. These are the games now. Southampton, Brighton, Crystal Palace. These are the games throughout the season where you pick up the majority of your points and where you should be picking up the majority of your points. So, like I said, we do need to turn the really positive performances against Liverpool and Arsenal now into points on the board against the likes of your Southamptons and so on and so forth. It's vital. It absolutely is vital. The hunger and desire really needs to be there from these players again. And, you know, I've mentioned before, it's quite easy to get motivated for a game at Anfield or for a game at the Emirates against Arsenal in the Cup. The motivation to play Southampton at home or Crystal Palace at home or Brighton away or whatever the case may be, that's when you show the determination, the hunger, the desire that you've got within your squad. And if you don't do that, then you're going to pay the price. You absolutely are going to pay the price. And look, like I said, the next few fixtures coming up pose a really good opportunity for Manchester United to put some solid numbers on the board and start climbing that table. Because if we don't do it in the next few games, there's going to be a lot of question marks being asked about these players and these groups of players. So let's hope we can back up the good performances with points on the board. Now, guys, let's talk about the predicted 11. And again, we spoke last week in relation to Ruben Amorim not making as many changes anymore as the games go on. He seems to be settling in an awful lot of positions on players that he likes and that he can certainly trust. And I think the majority of the players within this Manchester United squad, he's realised now he can trust. So this was the starting 11, guys, for the game against Arsenal. And United went absolutely as strong as they possibly could, to be quite honest with you. And rightly so. You go into cup games, you've got to be as strong as you possibly can. And I think Ruben Amorim was quite adamant in the fact that he is kind of settling now on his strongest team and who he thinks his strongest team are. However, there was changes. And now, look, the main one that we've seen, this obviously wasn't starting 11 because Binder was in the goal, but I don't have a graphic for him. So Onana obviously didn't start. Now, there is a case here for Altay Binder to come back and start this game, given the amazing performance he put in against Arsenal on the weekend. And I would have no issues with him starting against Southampton. Absolutely no way. I think it would be absolutely justified. However, if we're speaking about, you know, Onana maybe dropping out for the cup games and Binder coming in for the cup games, then I think it's justified if Onana comes back in, to be quite honest with you. I really do. And look, whether the manager decides to do that or not, that remains to be seen. However, look, I mean, Altay Binder is going to be absolutely flying high with confidence after what he done on the weekend, and rightly so. He was absolutely fantastic for us. However, I do think that if we're talking about the starting 11 for this game, I think Onana for the league will come back in and he will start in the goal. Now, the back three, guys. Back three, obviously, were absolutely fantastic. To a man, I mean, all of the players against Arsenal the other night were fantastic. But the back three specifically, De Ligt, Maguire, Martinez, all played really, really well, it has to be said. Now, we go into a game against Southampton where we do have an opportunity potentially to make some changes, where you have to put out your strongest 11. And we've seen over the past few weeks, specifically De Ligt has been taken off a number of times, not because he's playing bad, he's been fantastic for us this season, but Ruben Amorim is looking after him. He's taking him off after 70 minutes, 80 minutes, whatever the case may be. And of course, we've seen Harry Maguire come off after, I think, 105 minutes. He spent the previous 2 days in bed, ill, before the Arsenal game. So it goes to show the determination he had to get back into the team. However, the person that I am kind of focusing on more than anything else is Leny Yoro. Now, Leny Yoro has done really, really well when he has come off the bench for United, and I think Ruben Amorim is absolutely doing the right thing in terms of drip feeding him into this first team. He's a young player. You don't want to be over reliant on a young player, and people have said before, why isn't Yoro starting more and more? And let's say, for example, Yoro starts 5 or 6 games in a row, and 2 or 3 of them games he doesn't put in the best performances. What's going to happen? There's going to be pressure from the fan base. There's going to be pressure from the media. Is this guy cracked all he's made out to be? Nonsense. Let him bide his time. Let Amorim bring him off the bench and let him play him, in games the way he wants him to play. So my point being, guys, is that is there the chance for Leny Yoro to come and start this game? I think it's a big opportunity for him to do so, and for Ruben Amorim to bring him into the starting 11. When you're playing Southampton, the team on the bottom of the table, it's absolutely, the opportunity for you to do it. And I think we probably will, if that is the case, I think it's probably De Ligt that we will see drop out of the team. I think it's no harm, given his injury record in the past, at previous clubs it might be said. The injury record is there for De Ligt. Absolutely it is. So I think it's a good opportunity maybe for De Ligt to get a rest and for a young, talented Leny Yoro to come in against a Southampton team, and get a start. And I think that would be a good, it would be a good idea to do that out of Ruben Amorim. Now, guys, moving it up the field, we're going to speak about the wing-backs first and foremost. And look, I've mentioned it on a lot of my match previews that it's the easiest, I suppose, positions on the pitch that, for us to predict, because, we haven't got a lot of depth at wing-back, it has to be said. And it's been Delot and Mazraoui pretty much all season for us. And there has been a couple of times when Ahmad has played on, the right wing-back when Amorim first came in. However, look, I mean, the opportunity to maybe change it against a team like Southampton, and again, I don't want to be talking about too many changes, to be quite honest with you, because you still have to go out and win the game and have a strong enough team to go out and win. But I think there is an option here for maybe a little bit of a change at wing-back, and the reason being is that we've seen Malacia play on the weekend against Arsenal. He came on, made a substitute appearance, and done quite well when he came on, in fairness to him. Now, again, look, is it going to be Delot or is it going to be Mazraoui? To be honest with you, Mazraoui, I would like to see him given a rest. To be honest with you, he's played an awful lot of minutes so far this season, and again, he has had a checkered history in relation to his injury record. Again, at previous clubs, he's been fantastic since he's come to United. However, you got to rest, you got to rotate, and I think it offers an opportunity maybe for Malacia to come in and get some game time, start a game for United, and it means Delot then would naturally be pushed over onto his natural side at right wing back. And I think There has been some criticisms there about Delors this season, but again, you do have to realise that he is playing as a left wing back when naturally he's a right full back. So I would have no issues with Delors and Malacia starting, to be quite honest with you. Again, that may not be the case, and it's not as easily as predictable this weekend, but I would go with Malacia and Delors and just give Mazraoui that rest that he deserves, absolutely. When it comes to the 2 number 6s, guys, there's no question about this in my mind. I don't see too many changes being made in midfield throughout the next few games, to be quite honest with you. Ugarte and Menu have sparked up a real good partnership there together. Ugarte, for me, has just been an absolute breath of fresh air. He really, really has. I've been so impressed with him. I've just been so impressed with him. I think he's been the leader, I suppose, that we have been longing for a long time within this Manchester United squad, and not necessarily the leader by shouting and roaring and pointing, but just how he plays the game, the intensity levels, the hunger, the desire, and he had a brilliant tweet out after the game. He said, when we have the ball, it's a game, and when we don't have the ball, it's a fight. And that is exactly what you want to hear out of any fan wants to hear his players say that. It's absolutely a breath of fresh air. But look, I don't see changes being made in this midfield. I think Menu has been playing really well the last couple of games as well. Didn't finish the game against Arsenal, and again, I think Ruben Amorim is quite conscious of overplaying him, and rightly so. But yeah, I don't see too many changes there. In the 2 number 10s, guys, obviously Ahmad finished the game. It was Garnacho that started on that right-hand side, and I thought Garnacho had a good game, to be honest with you. I think playing on the right-hand side, he is less of a goal threat, because we know he likes naturally to play out here, and cut in at, and go at fullbacks. But he played on that right-hand side, and I thought he had a good game, to be honest with you. He's learning an awful lot, and again, I reiterate the point that I said when Amorim came in. Garnacho is going to have the biggest learning curve out of anybody in this Manchester United squad, because the way Amorim sets up 2 6s, 2 10s and a 9 with wing backs, Garnacho has never played any of them positions before Amorim came in, so he's learning. And I do probably think, though, we will see Garnacho potentially drop out and Ahmad come back into the starting lineup. Again, I think it is probably our strongest 11 when we've got Bruno and Ahmad in the 2 number 10s. Again, that's not a disrespect to Alejandro Garnacho. It's just basically the fact that Ahmad has played in that number 10 role before. He played there for Sunderland when he was on loan, you know what I mean? And he played a couple of times for United as well in that position. So I think Ahmad will probably come back in. Now, the number 9 position, this is going to be a big talking point, to be quite honest with you, because obviously we've seen Rasmus Højlund. He started the game and again struggled, in my opinion. We know the potential is there, and he's a young man. He's 21 years of age, trying to lead the line for Manchester United, and he's got no real experience in around that squad for him to learn off of. No experienced strikers at all, where he can't watch a Ruud van Nistelrooy or a Solskjaer or a Andy Cole, Wayne Rooney, whatever the case may be. There's nobody of that ilk within this Manchester United squad for him to learn off, so it's going to take him some time. And we also know that this guy had an absolutely stellar night at the Emirates, scoring the winning penalty for United, and done really well when he came on, to be quite honest with you, nutmegging one of the Arsenal defenders twice in the space of like 3 seconds and leaving him on his arse. I thought he played well, and I was really, really happy for him. I made my point quite clear that I didn't agree with all of not all of but with the minority of the Man United fan base who cheered when he was substituted against Newcastle, and I felt sorry for him, and I made that clear live on the watch along, so I was delighted for him. I think there's a big opportunity that he comes in and plays on the weekend. I honestly do. I think we could see maybe Rasmus Højlund drop out and ZIRKZEE come in and start in that number 9 role, 9.5 role, I suppose. And especially when you've got Bruno and Ahmad there. And there could be a suggestion as well, that maybe if that's the case, that Garnacho keeps his place, because we know how much Garnacho likes to run in behind, and if you're talking about Garnacho getting into these positions, you know, also Bruno Fernandes running past then as well. You know, I think it's absolutely an option there, but you know, we do know that Ahmad is well able to do that as well, and he gets into good areas. So I think there's a big chance that Joshua ZIRKZEE plays on on Thursday against Southampton. And again, I reiterate, I mean, I think this team absolutely is good enough to go out and get 3 points against Southampton on the weekend, even with the changes we've been, you know, that we've made. And you know, that's what you've got a squad for. You've got to rotate, you've got to bring players in, you've got to rest players. But again, I reiterate, that team is good enough to go out and get 3 points on the weekend. Now guys, let's talk about score predictions. And obviously, like we mentioned, it's a game that United can potentially go out and get a good 3 points in. Now, again, not trying to finish on a negative or anything, but if you look at the last couple of games, while the performances have been brilliant, they really, really have, we still haven't scored a lot of goals. You know, and that's it's quite telling. Now, look, scoring 2 goals at Anfield and then 1 at the Emirates, absolutely fantastic. You know, however, chance creation still isn't our area of expertise yet. You know, and we are still struggling to really put teams away. Southampton offer an opportunity to go and do that. Again, you know, they've been really poor this season. They're basically a championship team playing in the Premiership, and you know, when they did get promoted, a lot of their transfer budget went on making some of their loan deals permanent, and the quality really is shown there. They've conceded the most goals in the Premier League, so it's an opportunity for United to go out, get some goals and keep a clean sheet as well. I think. Score prediction, guys, I'm going to go with a score prediction of 3-0 to Manchester United. Again, being optimistic, I think we can go out and hopefully do a good job. And again, like I said, build on the momentum that we've built over the last couple of weeks and turn that momentum into 3 points and into goals and into clean sheets, you know, and that's when the positivity will really start to come. These one-off games against Arsenal's and Liverpool's, they don't come around too often. We're into the nitty-gritty now again over the next 4 or 5 games where, you know, we're playing teams all around us in the league. We need to be picking up 3 points. Let me know your score predictions in the comment section below, guys. Let me know also your predicted 11. Do you agree, disagree with what we've mentioned? We will be live for the game on Thursday night as well, so please do join us live on YouTube for that. Look forward to seeing you there. Smash a like on the video, hit subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you on the next one.